Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about American politics, and I want to talk about Americans have, I think Americans have mastered have mastered the art of living a useful life. We have a model for it. We are better than anybody in the world, and now we need to master living a useful death. We need to master. We need to template for the world experiencing a useful death. Okay. All right. So let's jump into this. So the reason why we're talking about this today is Millie Bobby Brown's unbelievably powerful, extremely well done, The Electric State. Fantastic film. It was really, really fascinating what happened with this movie. So The Electric State just dropped on Netflix, and there's so much here that I want to talk about from a political perspective. So we are really arriving in a powerful place. So this is dangerous. I am a political commentator, and one of the things I'm noticing is political commentary. We have not lost 1 inch of demand for political commentary. Demand for political commentary is higher than it's ever been. People are just eating up political commentary. It's now a major source of entertainment, massively, directly competing with big screen, small screen, video games, the whole nine, right? This is not me just saying it. Literally, Grace Randolph does movie math every week and is like, oh yeah, no question. Like, movies and shows are being impacted today because people are consuming political commentary as entertainment. Like, this is not even like, this is not me saying it. This is like hard reality element, right? So really, really fascinating. But what's really interesting is I feel like political commentary is worse than ever because political commentary can't really tell you what's really happening anymore. And the reason why is the complexity of what's happening in politics has never been higher. Right now, nobody knows what Donald Trump is doing, including Donald Trump. Like, he doesn't know the ramifications of what he's doing. He does know what he's doing. He doesn't know where all the pieces are going to land, right? And so political commentary is less valuable than ever. Now, what's interesting is it's the same with art critique, right? So all the critics were just, oh, hey, we assure you, everyone, this sucks. This sucks. No, it's a terrible movie. Skip it. Not worth your time. I know it cost $200 or $300 million. I know Netflix paid out the wazoo. I know they put every single major successful person in Hollywood's in this film right now, right? But yeah, I can assure you, you can skip this one, everyone. Critics done told you it's not good. The critics can go kick rocks. They suck, and this thing was a banger, right? Like, and this is just more of this like, hey, blue collars, like, hey, hey, I'd like a cheeseburger, right? And and then some intellectual, eggheads like, oh, I'd like some brie, please, right? Like, cheeseburgers are good. Shut your flapping maw, you useless intellectual elite, right? And the world's like, we got no use for you guys anymore. This got a rotten tomato, right? This thing got a rotten tomato. That is astounding. Every critic hated this. But Americans, they watched this like gangbusters. Like, this is massively successful for real Americans, right? Not intellectual elites, right? For real Americans, they were like, oh, I'm turning that on. I'm going to watch the heck out of that. And they did, right? So I thought that was very interesting. But let's get into this. So Millie Bobby Brown, let me explain something, okay? So first of all, Millie Bobby Brown is one of the most powerful celebrities in Hollywood at this point. She ain't rolling in going, oh, I'd love to do an audition for your piece, right? She ain't auditioning for crap, right? She's like, hey, I'm freaking Millie Bobby Brown. I got Stranger Things 5 coming out. I am the shiznit. Shut your flapping maw. Put me in your thing I pick my projects. Maybe I build them from scratch, right? Like, she ain't playing around, man. She has been picking bangers for Netflix, and she's like, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Give it to me now, right? This is power personified. We've never seen anything like this, right? She can write her own ticket, and she is, right? This is girl power, girl boss, whole way, right? And it's working because she's delivered. Damsel, Enola Holmes 1, Enola Holmes 2, right? She's just picking her prize. And Electric State, which is a huge success, right? Number one with a rocket, right? Like, it just, people just, oh, Chris Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown, click, watch, done, right? And that's what they want. They want no decision, right? And they're getting it with Adam Sandler. Oh, Adam Sandler, click, watch, done, right? It's unbelievable, right? So Millie Bobby Brown picked this project. She picked it, handpicked it, said, I want this, right? She ain't auditioning for nothing, right? She's just like, oh, give me that, 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 right? And it is this, we're in a new day, right? Like, if you win, you win. That's America, right? That's late stage capitalism, right? You put up bangers, you make money, you have successful projects, you write your own ticket. And this is why everybody in America is just like on this stuff. All right, let's get there. Okay. So she chooses this, right? Well, this has a powerful, powerful message for every American. Okay. Every American has already figured out. I was watching this lady. I forget her name. I apologize. I've been watching this lady, and oh yeah, she has a video. You can find her here on YouTube. And she did a really good video on defunding academia. She's a British scientist who did a whole video on defunding academia. I was like, what now? It was pretty brilliant because it was a play on defunding police, and she was like, defund the academia, right? I was like, whoa, what now? You know, like, it's really brilliant. But she is British, and she's European. She might not be British. She's European. I kind of mix them all together. French, German, Italian, British, whatever. European, whatever. Is there a difference? I don't know. And I'm an American, right? Like, yeah. So anyway, but she was saying, she said flat out, she's like, hey, let's talk about the differences between Americans. Really brilliant commentator. A cultural commentator, specifically commentates a lot about science. And she said that, Americans, that she's a European. She's like, Americans work hard, way harder than Europeans. Europeans are simply, their priority is working less. That ain't Americans' priorities. Like, we get in the slot, we grind until we die, right? It's what we do. We work hard. We don't sip leaf juice. We get coffee beans and we grind and we grind and we grind, literally and figuratively, until we die. We break the world and remake it. That's the way of it. That's why we're the most balled out nation in the world, right? America up, every other country down, right? We win. And the nice thing about having Donald Trump is we don't have to pretend it's not that way anymore. This is America. We're the best in the world at every single thing except choreography. South Korea beat us there with K-pop. That's it. We win on every other margin, right? We're the most innovative. We're best at everything except choreography and synchronized dance. That's it. It's the only thing we've been more beaten in the world, right? And so we have mastered living epic, useful lives, right? We've built the template for the rest of the world, and literally people are dying to get into our nation, right? Whereas ain't nobody trying to, they got an immigration problem up in Vladimir Putin's country. Ain't nobody trying to get into that mess, right? Like, so get this. In Electric State, the main character is a young man, right? And he's the genius brother of Millie Bobby Brown. And Millie Bobby Brown now has Chris Pratt as a friend. And they realize that he's been captured and kidnapped, and he's being used to create this network that allows this company called Center to allow humans to use robots to continue a robot war, right? And so Millie Bobby Brown's like, oh no, like the internet, the interlinked neural network is run by my brother's brain, right? And so she goes and she's like, okay, hey, I'm here to save you, brother. Let's go. And he's like, hey, no. Listen, if you pull me, he's like, he's like, here's the problem. First of all, you're not gonna be able to get me out of here, right? And the reality is, if Center captures me again, they can keep me alive like this for 100 years. And he's in like this cryostasis pod, right? He's in this stable pod that's keeping him healthy and keeping him alive, but unconscious. And his brain is conscious and carrying this neural network. And he's like, listen, if they keep me linked up to this thing, the neural network will continue to work, and Center, this evil company, will be able to continue this robot war. The robots are going to suffer, and the humans who are allied with this robots are going to suffer. So what you need to do is you need to let me die an epic, useful death. And Millie Bobby Brown's like, bet, you got it, bud. And so she pulls the plug on him and lets him die an epic, useful death. And when I saw it, I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool, right? Like, I don't want to live till 60, 70, 80 years old, frumping around, trying to do half of what I've been able to do before, right? I want to die an epic, useful death. His death, this young man's death, served the humans, served the robots, right? Served all of humanity. And this is what we need to do for American males. American males have this terrible problem right now. It's called deaths of despair. It's completely unique to American males. It's not suffered by women, right? People care about women. People care about American women. They're not going to let them die under a bridge, freezing to death, right? American males, they're like, oh, here's the map to the bridge. You need a ride over there? You can definitely lay under that bridge tonight and freeze to death and die. No problem. I'll give you a map. I'll give you a ride, right? Like, nobody cares if American males die. That's why we have deaths of despair, right? And so a lot of men are like, oh man, I don't want to die a death of despair. And we need to do this as Americans. We need to configure society. The Vikings, right? We can't pillage villages anymore. Not literally, right? But maybe we can build a construct where when men are like 50, right, they can go and die an epic, useful death that serves their family, serves their community, serves their nation, right? Serves everyone they love. And all those people are rewarded for their epic, useful death. And I think a lot of men right now are this is why these deaths of despair are happening. They're like, I lived an epic, useful life, but then things changed, and now my usefulness is gone. And I'm not epic for anybody, and I'm not useful for anybody. And they just go under a bridge, and they freeze to death in the middle of the night, and absolutely nobody cares. It happens literally millions of times a year. It is happening all over the country. Go look up deaths of despair. It is a term, a medical. It is not a. It is a cultural term that had to be coined because men are so encouraged to die today, right? And the reality is, it's not that men need to stop dying. It's that their deaths need to be epic and useful. And I think that was the point of Electric State. It's saying, hey, let's build a society where men, when their usefulness is done, can have one last spike, one last exclamation of usefulness. An epic, useful death. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing and have a fetch millennium.